Okay, you just got to take notes and follow along here, not too difficult. Okay, the first thing we did with these systems of equations is we had to graph each line and find out where they cross. So this is my first equation. So don't even look at that. So I see my equals, and the y and the x are on opposite sides. So if they're on opposite sides, I want to use the slope and y-intercept to graph the line. So the slope's in front of the x, so in this instance that would be 1. To make it a fraction, I put a 1 under. And the y-intercept is -4. So I go down for my y-intercept. And then I use my slope from here. I'm going to be going up 1 and right 1. Okay, and you need to take your ruler and make that a straight line. Okay, now we can cross this off. Okay. Now, on the same graph, I'm not even going to do anything right there. Okay. On the same graph, I now graph the second line. And again, here's my equals. Here's y, here's x. Once again, on opposite sides. So again, I do it the same way, slope and y-intercept. The slope would be -1 over 1, and the y-intercept would be -2. So I go down 2. And then from there I go down 1 and right 1. And there's already a point there. Circle it, and we're going to make the line through those two. Okay, now I look at the point where they cross right here. And I start from the middle. I say, okay, how many squares sideways do I have to move? I move 1 because now I'm right above it. So x is +1. Remember, this is the x, this is the y. So I go over 1, so x is 1. So I went over 1, now I need to move down. 1, 2, 3. So I went down, so I know it's negative. And -3 is the y. Okay, now for the next problem. 1x plus -1y equals 8. That's the first thing. I don't even look at this till I have a line from this. Okay, so here's my equals, and now they're on the same side. So same side, I'm using my double zero table. And then I write that down twice. 1x plus -1y equals 8, and then again. So if x is 0, we can cross x out and then divide. And that's -8. If y is 0, we can cross y out, and then I divide. And then I divide by 1, and that's 8. Okay? So sideways I stay, and I go right. Then up, down, I go down and stay. So I stay and go down 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's my first point. Back to the middle on a table, I go right 8 and stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I make a line through those points with the ruler. Okay, cross that out. Now the second equation. X and Y are on the same side. So they're on the same side, so I make my double zero table. Again, I don't use slope y-intercept unless they're on opposite sides, the same. So I write 1x plus 1y equals -2, and then again. So x is 0. Dot your 1, divide by 1, and that's -2. Y is 0, cross that out, and then I dot and divide by 1. And that's -2. So I stay, and I go to the left, and then I go down, and then I stay. So I stay, go down 2. And then I go left 2 and stay. Okay, and I take my ruler and make the points, a line going like this, through those points. And then I see that they cross. The two blue lines cross right here, and I got to figure out what point that is. 1, 2, 3. So x is 3, positive 3, because I'm going to the right. And now I'm moving down. So left 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so -5. Okay, now the next thing. I got to solve for x and y. But now I'm not going to graph. I look for a letter by itself. There it is, the x. Circle the other side, and that is my base equation. Now I write the other equation. 5x plus 2y equals 9. What's the letter I have in the box by itself? It's x. So put a parentheses around the x. So I see a 5. Now I see the x in parentheses, so I make an empty parentheses, and after that I have plus 2y equals 9. Now extend that. And I replace the x with what it's equal to, -1y plus -3. Okay, now I have y's in the equation, so that's my first answer. So 5 times -1 is -5y, and then 5 times -3 is -15. Cross that out. Now before equals, you got to add 2y equals 9. Now I've got two of the same letter. Those are like terms. They're on the same side. So I'm going to add. Okay. So -5 plus 2 is -3. So -3y. Before equals, I got to add -15 equals 9. Now I can dot my y and circle it, and it's -15, so I plus 15. So -3 dot y, and that's going to be 24. So now I divide by -3, and 24 divided by -3 is -8. Okay, there's my first answer. Now I go into my base equation where the letter was by itself, and that's where I want to parenthesize. And I'm going to put -8 there. Okay. So I punch in -1, parentheses -8, so it'll times it, and then add -3, and it's 5. Okay, next problem. This is my base, because the letter's by itself. And now I write the other equation. Put x and y equal down there at the bottom. So I write the other equation. 4x plus -1y equals -15. So the letter by itself is y. So now I put the y in parentheses. So I've got 4x plus negative 1, parentheses, but leave it empty, and then equals negative 15. Now I make that parentheses wider. Same thing, just widen it. And then the y equals 9 plus negative 2x. Now I have two x's, so I'll be solving for the x first. That's a y. All right, so rainbows, negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2 with x. Before equals, I have a 4x I need to add, and then equals negative 15. So my x's are on the same side. So I add, and that's 6x. Plus negative 9 equals negative 15. So I dot my x and circle it. So plus 9, 6 dot x, and that's negative 6. Okay, negative 15 plus 9 equals negative 6. And now I can divide by 6. So that's negative 1. Okay. All right, so here's your x. You can put negative 1. Remember, use your base equation to get the second answer, not the other one. So 9 plus negative 2 times negative 1 is 11. Okay. Next problem. Okay, here's my letter by itself, so that's my base. So I write the other equation, 4x plus negative 7y equals 10. Okay, so the letter in the box is y, so y gets the parentheses. It will be replaced. So 4x plus negative 7, replace the y, equals 10. Now make that parentheses so it's wider. Okay, and now I'll be putting 1x plus negative 7 in there. Okay, now I can solve for x. So negative 7 times 1 is negative 7x. Negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49, so I cross that out. Before equals, I have to add a 4x in there, equals 10. Now the x's are on the same side. Remember to get the negative on the 7 when you add. So negative 7 plus 4 is negative 3 with an x. And then I have plus 49 equals 10. So I dot my x and circle it. So I'm minus 49 minus 49. So that's negative 39. And then I dot divide. And negative 39 divided by negative 3 is 13. So my x is 13. Now I go into my base equation. Take out the x because I know that's 13. And if y is going to equal 1 times 13 plus negative 7, and that's 6. Okay. Now my next one. 1x plus 1y equals 0, and here I have the base equation with the letter by itself. And now I write the other equation, 1x plus 1y equals 0. So it's the x that gets the parentheses. So I have 1 and then the parentheses, but don't put anything inside it. And after that, we got plus 1y equals 0. So make that parentheses so it's a little wider. And after it, you got plus 1y equals 0. Now I put 2y plus 6. Okay. So it's going to be 2y plus 12. Got a plus 1y before I equal. And now my y's are on the same side. I'll be solving for y first. Add 2y plus 1y is 3y. Got to add 12 in there. Equals 0. So now I dot the 3. And 3 dot y equals negative 12. And I divide by 3. Negative 12 divided by 3 equals negative 4. So negative 4. And then I go into my base. Okay. So 2 is negative 2. Okay, now story problems. At a store, a person buys 5 hardcover books and 2 paperback books. The hardcover books cost $2 more than the paperbacks. If a person pays $26, what's the cost of a hardcover book and what's the cost of a paperback book? Okay. So 3 units, because I got the hardcover, the paperback, and the money, as opposed to 2 where I draw the line, but we haven't done that for a while. Okay. Won't be drawing the line till the final. So I need 3 units. Total, how many single? Okay. So money single, money total. Then I've got the hardcover and the paperback. So hard and paper. All right, now get your total money. You paid a total of $26. That can be crossed out now. Now this is for numbers that don't have money. And that's 5 hardcover. That's how many things you have. 2 paperback. Okay, and then I need something down here to multiply these bad boys by. Okay. Well, the only thing I have is that hardcover books. If you buy 1 hardcover book, a single hardcover book would cost $2 more than a single paperback. So $2 more. It doesn't mean it costs $2, just it's $2 more. So with that more, I put x plus 2 and x. But now you got to put it in the right place, not wherever you feel like it. The hardcover books now cost $2 more, so x plus 2 goes under the hardcover books, and the plain old x by itself would be paperbacks. So we know that that is 2x. And to multiply here, we need a 1 in front of the x, so now I have 2 numbers to multiply the 5 by. 5 times 1x, which is 5x, and 5 times 2, which is 10. Now I write my equation. 5x plus 10 plus 2x equals 26. Okay, so here are my 2 x's. We can add those together. That's 7x. Got your x minus a 10. And I divide by 7. $2.28, but it'd go up to 29 cents. So x is 2.29. So here's the x. It's under paperbacks. Now get the other letter, the other answer. We go up here, and we replace the x's with 2.29. Okay, so we already know we have a 2.29. 2.29 plus 2 is 4.29. That's my answer. Okay, last problem. You're buying apples and oranges at the store. You buy 4 pounds of apples and 3 pounds of oranges. The oranges cost 25 cents more than apples. If you pay a total of $9.78, what's the cost for a pound of each type of fruit? Okay. 3 units, apples, oranges, and money. How many? And single. Okay, so the money, and then the two things you're buying, the apples and the oranges. Okay, what's the total money? $9.78. Now look for numbers that aren't money. 4 pounds of apples, so that's how many apples. 3 pounds of oranges, that's how many oranges. Now I need something to multiply by, and the only other thing it tells me is that the oranges cost 25 cents more. So if you buy a single orange, it's going to cost 25 cents more than the apples. There's the more then. So x plus 0.25 and x. Okay. You got to put that one in the right place. Now the oranges cost 25 cents more, so the oranges get the x plus 0.25. And then the apples will just be the x. Okay, so we got 4x. And here I put a 1 in front of the x, okay, just like that, so that I know what to multiply. 2 things, okay. So 3 times 1 is 3 with x. And 3 times 0.25 is 0.75 without x. Okay, so now I can write my equation. 4x plus 3x plus 75 cents equals 9.78. Okay, now the x's are on the same side, so that's adding. That's 7x plus 0.75 equals 9.78. So I dot the x and circle it. Subtract 75 cents from both sides. So 7 dot x, and that's going to be 9.03. And then I divide by 7. 9.03 divided by 7 is $1.29. Okay, so here's the plain old x. So apples cost $1.29 per pound. And then I go up here. So $1.29. $1.29. I already know that answer. Now here I have to add. 1.29 plus 0.25 is $1.54. Okay, have a wonderful day.